Hi everyone, Simon Keeling here with your flying weather outlook for the week and weekend ahead, brought to you exclusively by Flyer in association with weatherschool.co.uk. Thanks again for watching. Okay, looks like we've got a pretty decent weekend and a decent week next week ahead as well. Not for everyone, but I do think there's going to be plenty of flying weather around. There are going to be weak fronts which will give some outbreaks of rain at times, mostly across more northern regions. Best in the south, but we do have to watch for morning mist and fog, and oh, if only the weather was that simple. There'll be sort of subtle local variations, but you'll be able to pick those up, and you'd be able to pick them up even better if you've been to Aviation Weather School Part 1. And I know those of you who already been will be using those techniques to pick out those perfect spells over the next few days. If you've not been yet, then my next course, I've got one place available, possibly two, I think, is going to take place on the Tuesday evenings of the 18th and 25th of March between 6:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. It's presented entirely live online by me, and I'll show you how you can spot these weather windows, plan up to 5 days in advance, and just get you confident with using the weather to the best of your ability to get the most out of your flying. It's certainly money well spent. You'll enjoy it as well. It's great fun. Book your place now at weatherschool.co.uk. Just use the link here on the right hand side, and you just book there directly, and we then send you all the information that you need. It'll be super to see you there. Don't forget as well that you can get an update to this forecast. I send it out on a Friday. My weekend forecast email, completely free of charge, just enables me to keep you up to date with the very latest information. Just send a blank email to the address you see there, aviationweather-subscribe at weatherweb.net, and I'll make sure that you get on that list. Okay, so this is how things shape up then for today. Still got low pressure out in the North Sea through Thursday morning. That's bringing quite breezy conditions across parts of East Anglia. That will clear away, and then most areas actually are going to be in for a fair day. Some showers for northern and western parts of Scotland, one or two of them on the heavy side. I think they could then turn quite drizzly as the day progresses, so probably non-VFR here, but for many it looks like being a decent sort of day. Friday morning, mist and fog patches for parts of England and Wales. Those will lift and they'll clear quite quickly. I think always low cloud may affect western Scotland, possibly western coast of Ireland. I'm going to say none to marginal here because of that low cloud. Bases could be below 1,000 feet, tops at around 5,000 feet, just bits of drizzle. But for most, it is going to be a flyable day. Bases 4,000 feet, tops at about 8,000 feet. So it looks pretty good. Now for Saturday morning, more mist and fog patches around again for England and Wales. They could actually be quite stubborn to clear in one or two areas at first, but they will go, and then most places are going to be generally fair. Good spells of sunshine, 3 to 5,000 foot bases, 8,000 foot tops. Weak front comes through Scotland and Ireland. That has marginal conditions along it. Bases probably a couple of thousand feet. Tops up at about 10,000 feet, but reduced visibility. Some hill fog as well because of the cloud shrouding it. But for northern and northwestern Scotland, apart from one or two showers there, we should go into VFR-able conditions again. Sunday, once more, morning fog around on Sunday. A lot of this really super critically depends on how much cloud there is. I think the cloud will break, it will clear, and then we're going to be into another fairly decent day. Probably more cloud around, but still some decent spells of sunshine across many parts of England, Wales, Ireland, and eastern Scotland for that matter. Might just be a little bit of low cloud in western Scotland at times, but generally for most of us, bases 2 to 4,000 feet, tops at 8 to 10,000 feet. So, you know, a really decent sort of day. And then Monday, again, more fog, possibly early on across parts of England and Wales, but once more, that will be clearing away quickly, and then we're into a fair day. Some more cloud affecting central, southern Scotland and Northern Ireland. Here, marginal to non-VFR because of that 1,000 to 2,000 foot bases, 6,000 foot tops. North of Scotland should be okay, and most other areas, England and Wales, look as if they will be fair. I think the only thing I would just caution by now is the chance of some low cloud affecting western coast and hills, but generally it looks pretty fair. 3,000 foot bases, tops about 6,000 feet. One or two mist patches the far south of England on Tuesday, but again, most areas generally fair. A fair amount of cloud, bases 3 to 4,000 feet typically, tops around 6 to 8,000 feet. Breezier across Scotland, and I think for Western Scotland, non-VFR here because of that drizzle. Bases less than 1,000 feet, tops at about 7,000 feet. And then finally taking us into Wednesday. Still got high pressure holding on across the far south. So again, morning mist and fog patches clearing quickly. But then most areas dry, fair, decent spells of sunshine for most. 3 to 5,000 foot bases, 6 to 8,000 foot tops. Just some rain and drizzle affecting the far northern Scotland. Non-VFRable here because of that low cloud. But you see, generally, it is going to be a fairly decent weekend. Okay, I will leave you with that for now. Don't forget to get to weatherschool.co.uk. Book your place now at Aviation Weather School Part 1. It'd be absolutely fantastic to see you there on the consecutive Tuesday evenings of the 18th and 25th of March. Don't forget as well, you get a recording of each session to watch for up to a week afterwards. So if there's anything you missed, anything you want to catch up on again, it's perfect for doing that as well. Okay, have a great weekend. Thanks again for watching. Keep the sun shining and bye for now.